Hi guys, this video is going to be just a what's in the box video for the Honda NSR500 factory colour Tamiya. This is kit number 99 and it's just going to be a what's in the box review because it's not one that I will be building. This is one that I got with in a group of motorbike kits, and because I tend to stick to civilian road bikes, I'm not really bothered about the race ones, so I will be selling this, but I'm going to do a what's in the box review, so if you're interested in looking at this kit you can see what's in it. And I'll just give a quick look at the sides of the box. So you've got some nice box art there and a photograph of the actual bike in action, and then on the opposite side of the box you have alternative colour schemes, which I'm assuming the decals for said colour schemes will be in the box, and as you can see it's kit number 99. So I'm going to open up the box and we'll take a look inside. We've got the typical Tamiya decal sheet with a picture of the finished model and then a bit of a description in 4 or 5 different languages, and then your typical Tamiya layout, exploded diagrams, good detail, colour call-outs, and all the usual bits and pieces that you would expect or you should be familiar with if you build Tamiya kits. And that's in an A4 size 4 sheet fold out booklet format. And then of course the back of that shows you decal placement accordingly. You have a sheet of decals. Are these? Let's have a look. I'm not going to take these out because I don't want to risk damaging them. But this looks like it's just for the decal sheet for just for the number 3 layout, as you see on the cover art, but very nice looking. As I say, I'm not going to take those out and risk damaging them because I will be selling this kit. Then we've got a bag with the rear suspension spring, the various screws, a pair of slick tyres in a nice soft rubber, and some vinyl tubing, and the obligatory Tamiya screwdriver, of course, for assembly. And we then have a black sprue, a clear sprue, and 2 white sprues off parts. Now I'm going to remove these from the bags and give you a close-up of the sprues so you can see what we're getting in the box. We'll start here with the black sprue, and on this lower portion here you can see we've got parts of the triple clamps, or triple trees as our American cousins would call them. The rear shock absorber, we've got the cylinder banks. Bear in mind, of course, this is a 2-stroke, so much smaller than your typical 4-stroke. So the cylinder banks here, and one of the exhaust pipes with its expansion chambers just here, and the what looks to be the right hand hand grip assembly. Moving this over to the next quarter of this sprue, we've got a couple more expansion chambers and the engine crankcase halves, and the small pea shooter silencers, the clock assembly, and then over here we've got the spark plug caps and part of what appears to be the paddock stand, I think. Moving to the top quarter, we've got the other parts of the paddock stand, the front disc brakes, which are slotted really nicely detailed. I don't know how well that's going to show up on here, but hopefully you'll be able to see that. One of the other exhaust pipes, 4 in total, it's 4-cylinder with its expansion chamber. And then moving over to the final quarter of this particular sprue, we have got the rear disc brake, the chain with really nice detail, as is typically the case with Tamiya kits, another couple of silencers here, part of the water pump assembly, the rear hugger. So yes, all in all, very nice, clean, crisp detail, no flash, and no obvious sink marks or ejector pin marks. So that's the black sprue. On the bottom corner here we've got the left hand front fork leg, the right hand frame and subframe assembly and part of the rear swing arm. And then moving over to the bottom right quarter we've got a replication of that but the opposite side, so the left hand frame, the right hand fork leg and what appears to be the left hand side, possibly the right hand side of the swing arm. I'm not sure which side. I think that's the right hand side just off the top of my head, but couldn't swear to that. Up here we've got the tank and side panel fairing assembly, which is all one piece, and the other half is over here, which I'll show you in a second. So that joins together down the middle, so that means you will have a little bit of seam filling to do there, but the Tamiya kits typically do fit together very well, and it's common for the tank halves, or the tank to be in halves rather. Up here we've got the front wheel, 5-spoke typical Honda front wheel, the radiator and what looks to be the front mudguard or fender. And then moving over to the final part of this sprue, we've got the other side of the fuel tank and body panel fairing assembly, the carburetors I believe, the rear wheel, and I think this is part of the under tray that goes under the seat units, but I'm not 100% sure. But again, all very clean, very crisply moulded, very nice detail, as you can see with the calipers on the fork legs, really nicely crisply moulded. No flash, no obvious sink marks, and no apparent ejector pin marks either, apart from a few inside the body, which of course won't be visible. So very nice. And the next one we're going to look at, and this is one of the things that makes this kit quite interesting. This is the fairing assembly, which comes in two halves, and you have a solid white screen and a white V-piece that fits down in this section here. So you've got this in two halves, nicely moulded with the rivet detail and the panel lines and the scoops, very sharply detailed, and no flash sink marks or anything unpleasant there. Excellent quality, as you would expect with Tamiya. And then the left hand side, but what makes this kit particularly interesting is in the clear parts bag you have an exact duplicate of that fairing in clear sprue, and this is bagged separately so that it's kept nice and scratch free. And you've got your clear screen, clear left hand part, clear right hand part, clear left hand part, and the clear V piece that fits down here. So what you can do is either a mix and match, and you can use the solid sprue with the clear screen and paint it up like that, or you could paint up this particular solid one in the correct colours, and then keep the clear one for clear as an option for changing the display. And I think that's quite a nice feature. It's a shame that more of the Tamiya kits don't actually do this, because some of them do come with the clear side panels, and I've often thought it would be really nice if you had the option of having both, and then depending on the mood or the display that you're putting it in, you can actually display it with the clear panels or you can display it with the painted ones, because it always seems a little bit of a shame to paint over the clear panels. So that's the kit in total. Not a huge parts count, so it should be a relatively easy build, all things considered. And as I say, it's all very nicely detailed, and anyone that's a racing fan, especially from the halcyon days of the two-stroke racing, when men were men and bikes had to be push started and so on and all that business, this looks like it would be a lovely little kit to make. As I say, it's not my thing. The reason this is only going to be a what's in the box review is because I will be selling this kit or trading it for something that I will build, because otherwise this would just sit on the shelf unbuilt. I've only got a couple of race oriented kits in my to build pile, just because they happen to be kits that I like the look of, and that there isn't a road version, a road riding variant of. So yes, nice looking kit, and that is the Tamiya model kit number 99, and it is the Tamiya Honda NSR500 factory colour. And there you see it in its Honda factory racing livery in white, blue and red, and looking very nice indeed. So I hope this was useful, and thank you for watching.